Hi, Mr. Richards here. Today's lesson is on graphing proportional relationships. You'll learn how to identify and analyze proportional relationships. Well, speaking of identifying, how can we identify a proportional relationship on the coordinate plane? Well, first we need a coordinate plane. All right, there's one. Well, then we need at least two lines here to be able to compare what's proportional and what's not. There's one line, and here's the other. Well, one of these represents a proportional relationship and the other does not. In our blue line here, well, we have a line. It's not going through the origin. So while it is a straight line, it's not going through our origin. So since it's not going through the origin, it's not proportional. Compare that to our red line that goes through the origin, which is 0, 0. And it's a line going up at a constant rate. So, yes, the red line is proportional. The blue line is not. So in summary, how to identify a proportional relationship on the coordinate plane? If the graph of two quantities is a straight line through the origin, then the two quantities are proportional. So a straight line through the origin is what we're looking for. Determine whether each relationship is proportional by graphing on the coordinate plane and explain our reasoning. Well, here we have time compared to cost, and in this, our time is going to go on the x-axis, and our cost is going to be represented on the y. And so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours for our time, and we can go up by 5 for our cost, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. And so graph it. We have when our time is 1 hour, our cost is 10. When our time is 2 hours, our cost is 15, so right there. 3, 20, 4, 25, and 5, 30. Now let's go ahead and draw this line. As we work our way back down, we have a straight line, but does it go through the origin? It does not. It does not go through 0, 0. So when we determine whether or not it's proportional, it does not go through the origin, so we're going to say non-proportional. The line is a straight line, but it does not pass through the origin. So we hit 1 out of 2, but that's not 2 out of 2, so this is non-proportional. As we look at our next example that's very similar, we're going to have our gas used in gallons here as our x-axis. Our distance traveled is going to be on our y-axis. And for our gas, we can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gallons. And our distance traveled here is in miles. And let's count up by those 25. That should work here. 25, 50, 75, 100, 125. And then we're going to graph. Our gallons of gas was 1. our distance traveled 25, and that's going to meet right there at that point, 125. Then we have 250, 375, 4 100, and 5 125. Now as we draw our line back towards the start, it goes through the origin, and it's a straight line. So whether or not this is a proportional relationship, we can say, yes, this is proportional. The line is a straight line that passes through the origin. So, the difference between this example and the other, as we dragged our line and continued our line down, it goes through 0, 0. That's the key when we look for a proportional relationship on our coordinate plane. Now the graph shows the proportional relationship between fathoms and feet. So what we want to do, our challenge here, is to find and interpret the constant of proportionality. For this, we're going to use the point 424 from our graph. And for this, it's going to be our change in y over our change in x, which is feet over fathoms, feet over fathoms. And for this, it's going to be 24 over 4, which simplifies into 6 over 1 by dividing by 4 on top and bottom, or just 6. So what we can say here is the constant of proportionality which is also known as the unit rate, is 6 feet in every fathom. Now explain what the points 0, 0, 424, and 648 represent. And actually that is a typo there. That should be 848, so we can fix that there. Well, 0, 0 means that there are 0 feet in every, or in 0 fathoms. Actually, I have no idea how to pronounce that. But when we have 424, this means there are 24 feet in 4 of those things. If anyone knows how to pronounce that, please feel free to tell me one day. 848 means there are 48 feet in 8 of those guys. So, define and interpret the constant of proportionality. Pick any of these points. I like to work with smaller numbers a lot, so 424. Set up change in y over change in x here, 24 over 4, 6 over 1, which is 6, which means the constant of proportionality, or unit rate, is 6 feet in every fathom. And then for each of these points, interpret what it means. That's it. Good luck.